just came in. I don't know what they've been talking about. But are you saying that we need low-paid illegals or immigrants to do our farm work and work that we won't do, that Americans won't do? Is that what people have been saying?
Not, you know.
I kind of say that, like, they are doing those jobs, and I say that if you disrupt those jobs, all of a sudden it's going to have a negative effect on the economy. I'm not saying that we necessarily need them, but we need them right now because that's what we have. But,
well, we've only gotten this huge number of them in the last couple of years. Has our economy already started depending on them?
No, I disagree with that. I mean, prior to Biden or prior to Trump, the number was over 12 million. Right? Yeah.
Well, what's been in the last couple of years?
I think it's up to about 20 or so, maybe like 8 million or so more. But
yeah. So we started relying on those 8 million already.
No, but those not the ones that he's talking about getting, like, those are the ones that's going to affect it. The ones it's the ones prior. He's talking about getting rid of those too. He's not just talking about getting rid of these new ones. He's talking about getting rid of all of them.
I think he would focus on the most recent ones.
He said he's going to start with the ones that have criminal records. So that's across the board. That's mainly all the old ones. The new ones aren't the ones with the criminal record at this point. Well, it's all the I'm sorry, go ahead, Kate.
Well, for one thing, do they know the criminal records of the most recent ones from their home countries? Are they able to find out, how many of them have come across with criminal records? I think this would be the first.
No, he literally said what his first is going to be. It's the ones who have criminal records since they've been in America are the ones he's going after first, and those are the ones that've been here for a long time, not the ones who just got here under Biden.
What's wrong with that?
It's not going to help the economy. I'll say he should find a better way. I mean, the criminals, I'm okay with that, but I'm saying, but he's talking about going far past that, even like DACA recipients, like a mother and a father, where the father is illegal, the mother not. Literally, the Homeland Security guy said that they're like, "Are you going to break up families?" He said, "I'm going to do this." What he said, "I'm not going to break up families. We're going to deport the person that need to be deported, and it's up to them if they want to break up their family. If they don't want to break up their family, they're going to have to leave with that person." That's what was literally said. So yes, I have a problem with some man who's been living in this country, working, paying taxes, and haven't broken the law and haven't broken the law.
I think his focus would be on the ones who just came in and had a baby. Well, they can certainly leave with the baby who's now a citizen.
You're saying things what you want to be, but not saying. I'm repeating what he said he wants to do. Like you're saying what would be best, but I'm saying actually what he said what he's gonna do.
Yeah, I think you're assuming, from that, I can't believe that they wouldn't just focus on the most recent ones first. That's
literally not what he said, though. He literally said he's going after, literally said day one he's going after the one with convicted, with records, then he's gonna go from there. So, that's like an estimated 1.3 million people initially, and they upwards to, well, if you go by Van's numbers, he said 25 million people. So,
1.3 million have criminal records in this country?
That's what he said. And it's going to
cost. We need to get rid of them.
You know how it's going to cost to get rid of them? I agree. But like you said, that's my point. We're in bad times and everyone complains about the cost of things, inflation, things like that. To deport 1.3 million people is going to cost $1 trillion. $1 trillion.
Well, that's what people are saying. Maybe they could figure out some more brilliant way to do it, like threaten them with fines.
Violate the Constitution, and it'll be.
Well, could they threaten them with big fines? And they'd have to go home because they can't pay the fines, or go back to prison or something. I think there's more creative ways to influence them to leave?
Go back to prison. I mean, if they haven't been in prison, how do you take someone back to prison? You can't. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Oh, well, I didn't say prison. I said fines.
Well, fines. They don't have money for fines. I mean, if you're here if you're here illegally, fines aren't going to make a difference for you, right? You're not here legally, so they don't care about fine.
Well, I think they can figure something out. We're sitting here trying to putting a number on what it'll cost. I think those numbers are just they're made up. I've known illegals. I was in Mexico in 2019 for my son's wedding. He got married in Mexico. His wife is the daughter of immigrants, and I was at a festival. I stayed there a while. I was at a festival and met a fellow, and he had been in America for a while, but he had been deported. And I said, oh, too bad. I mean, these guys go back and forth all the time. I mean, you can put pressure on them to leave, I would think.
I mean, what you going to pressure them with? Deportation? That's where it started.
I don't know. What pressure this guy to leave? What pressure to leave?
You're going to put a fine on them. If they don't pay it, you're going to deport them.
Well,
that's
maybe fine the employers. Make it so they can't work.
Oh, I would love that. I would support that. But I guarantee, because since Trump has hired illegals himself, I don't see him doing that. I would definitely want them to find the employers. That I would love to see. It won't happen though.
Well, maybe it will. Maybe it will. You know.
Maybe we'll get those like Elon, Tesla AI robot slaves to replace the low-wage, low-skill illegal immigrants.
And maybe they'll start blowing up like his Teslas are right now, his cyber trucks or whatever they are. Have your server blow up in front of you.
It is interesting though that a lot of Americans have an issue when they see the growth of wages, right? And I think, well, maybe I'm wrong about some Americans, but I think there are a handful of Americans who are like, look, yeah, I'll pay more for strawberries if wages go higher and keep growing, right? And I think that's relatively a good thing, right? And I think that's really what would happen. Not that it would be hard to find someone to do it. It's just you'd have to pay them to make it worth it. And it's like, oh no, now Americans have some leverage when it comes to wages, and I think that could be a good idea, right? There's a running joke when it comes to people that are against the law, which is like, or actually no, there's a joke in right, asking black people, like, for how much would you pick cotton for, right? They'll say, would you do it for $100 an hour? What about $300 an hour, right? What if you could, things like that. And it's like, look, it's meant to be funny, but the idea is sort of like when the wage is high enough, okay, the thing that you thought was reprehensible that you would never do starts to become, a maybe at some point.
I don't think people think that those jobs are reprehensible, but historically they just have been low wage jobs, like $2-3 an hour. Like there's no one will work. I mean, it ain't necessarily their job; it was the wage, and it's the wage because Americans didn't want to pay more for products, so they had illegal immigrants working for low wage. You have farmers who they can't do the work themselves because there's too much work to do. And they can't afford to pay anyone $15, $20 an hour to do it. Like it's just not economically feasible to do it. And we don't say that America's not willing to pay more because wages have been going up along with the food prices, and people still complain. So it ain't just because I'm got more wages, I'm willing to pay more because we are looking at that right now, and people are not okay with paying more.
That's a good point. On the bright side, what actually helps with this is the fact that it just won't be possible to deport all of them in a 4-year time frame. And in fact, at the moment, if everything is this, remains the same, right? It's like we might be able to get up to 1 million, be able to report 1 million illegals in a year, but that's like really pushing it, barring sort of some amendment or some constitutional changes and things like that. So it's like, look, if we had deported all 20 million in 4 years, I could see, the economic argument would actually be more viable, but it's like, the reality is that it would probably take us 15 to 20 years of no illegal immigration at all in order to deport all the illegals. So,
I agree.
you're sort of forced to do it slowly, so it won't really wreck the economy as much as we think it will.
But I agree that that's the scary part. I mean, I think it's wreck the economy because like they won't be deported, but they will be rounded up into internment camps, and that's the evil part of it. You know what I'm saying? Where you rounding these people up, and that's where the cost is going to go up in housing these people while they're waiting to be deported. You know what I'm saying? Living in inhumane situations. So like that's the part you're not thinking about. Like they're not necessarily going to be able to get them all through court and process out the country, but they can round up millions and put them into internment camps and hold them there 5 years, 10 years, or whatever they might, or however long they are able to survive in those conditions.
Why would it be so hard if they got them in a camp to then just put them on buses and send them back, or plane tickets and stuff?
Because one of the problems is nowhere to send them. It kind of happened. That's kind of what happened with the Jewish people, where they was rounded up and they were supposed to be deported, and a lot of places didn't take those people. But then it turned to a mass genocide because they wouldn't take those people. So I don't want to repeat of that on anyone.
So you're really saying that our economy depends on illegal, low-paid workers, non-union, no benefits. That's what our economy depends on.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty awful.
Yeah, I think if our economy depends on that, then this is the right thing that we need to do. We need to stop depending on illegal immigrants for labor, and if there's economic consequences for that, it's like, look, there were economic consequences for abolishing slavery. It was still the right thing to do. So we're Americans, we can figure it out.
And I'm with you on that, but like it is the problem I would have with that. I won't push back, but he should run on that and say that. Don't run on I'm going to lower your food prices when I'm knowing damn well I'm not. I'm going to raise it. You know what I'm saying? So like just say that part.
No, I agree. I wish Trump was more articulate. Right? I sometimes even wish I could be a speechwriter for the Trump campaign. I think I would do a wondrous job, and I'll do it for the people.
You're saying the countries that these people came from won't accept them back in?
I mean, some of them can't go back because they left because they were in danger, right? So how can you send someone back who's in danger?
Well, I don't think those guys will go back. They could adjudicate that, but I think a small percentage of the ones who claim that really are in danger. They're economic migrants. They were taking advantage of the ability to claim that and then stay here for years until they have their court date.
Like this is not a new thing that the country don't accept people back. I mean, it happened under Obama and even under Trump, where they were deporting people and they ended up having sent to a third country, which was Guatemala, not their home country, but Guatemala was taking people that were rejected. So like, it's not something new. It happens for various reasons why they can't go back. So they would be sitting, waiting in internment camps while they try to find someone for them to go.
Especially if they were criminals when they left, if they were criminals in those countries.
Some people been gone so long, 20, 30 years, and that's no record of what country. There's no record of where they came from.
That's not the focus of this. The focus of this is to stop the flood that came in and to send those guys back. You want to say they're going to go back 20 years. That's not the focus.
He said, I'm sorry, Michaela, but that is the focus. He's talking about everyone.
Because he used broad language. He didn't narrow it down.
He literally said everyone. He literally put a number, 25 million. So, like, you tell me what 25 million if he's not talking about everyone.
Yeah. But they'll never get to those ones who've been here 20 years if they put it in order of the most recently arrived. They'll never get to those guys.
That's not the order he put it in. He's not even starting the most recently arrived. He's starting at the ones that have felonies or have a record. And they say and they be at the 1.3 million. That's what he started with.
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of those they won't be able to go back because maybe they already are criminals in their own country or something. Or what do you say? A lot of those 1.3 million can't go home.
I don't have the answer to that. I mean, I don't like as far as who can go where. I'm not claiming to have an answer to that question.
Do you think it's right that they could just come in here and then put us under this big problem of how to get rid of them? I mean, why have we allowed that?
It's been happening forever. I mean, it's not a new thing. It was a large amount that came recently.
That's right. It was large.
But it's been millions here prior to that, and it's actually it is a net positive on the country. Like to have them here is a net positive.
Right.
On the economy.
Cesar Chavez was against illegal immigration. He was forming a union, and getting them permits to go back and forth to work the farms, I don't know what happened to all that.
No, if he worked a way to get rid of the criminals, I wouldn't go for it. Anyway, when you talk about this everyone, I just don't think that's a good idea. I mean,
Maybe
Trump will change his mind. That'd be a first. Yeah. I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Why not?
Because I don't want to die. I don't want to die holding my breath.
Okay. All right.
Now, what I'm curious about is, will they do anything with amnesty? The reason why I mentioned that is that, one, they kind of already made the big promise of pretty much trying to deport as many as physically possible, right? Which sort of, if you were to go back and then say, okay, some of the amnesty, some people might think of walking that back. Some might think, okay, they realized it was harder than they thought and there was more complexity to it. But I think amnesty is an interesting question because it's like, look, the criminal migrants that are committing crimes, absolutely they've got to go. If you've got a felony and you came here illegally, you've got to go, right? But I could sort of, and maybe this is because I used to be a liberal a couple of years back, but I could see you've got someone who's here illegally, right? But they've been working here for 20 years, 10 years, or whatever. They pass a criminal background check. They pay a massive fine for being here illegally. They know English, and you sort of expedite them towards citizenship. I think that wouldn't be such a bad idea, because at that point it's like, okay, you find that they're pretty much a net benefit. They've got a job, they've been employed for a while, they're not committing crimes or things like that. And I think that, and that's throwing, maybe they're even a decent person, right? It's sort of like, okay, now you've identified someone that is clearly a benefit to the country, way more than somebody that is committing crimes here. So I could see a way of having amnesty for those people. Maybe you pick a number like that have been here for at least, whatever the metrics would be, right? I think that would be a terrible idea. Actually, a worse idea than that would be giving amnesty to all of them, but having something where it's like the three-fifths compromise for illegal immigrants for like 20 to 30 years, which is interesting to say the least. But what do you guys think about amnesty?
I would be okay with it, but I don't think it's realistic under what's about to happen under his mandate.
MGK or does anybody remember the movie A Clockwork Orange? Because there's this violent criminal, and what they do is they inject him with a drug that makes him nauseous, and then they put him in a straitjacket and force him to watch violent scenes. So they condition him to react with nausea and become incapacitated if he attempts to be violent at all. So I would just add MGK add to that the people that they give amnesty to go through the same conditioning, but they have to watch scenes of Kamala Harris. So anytime they see a liberal, they become instantly nauseous and incapacitated. And then I think at that point, they would be allowed to stay in the country. Thank you.
That was probably the most beautiful proposal I've ever heard in my life. I'm on board. Where do I sign up?
That's exactly what happens to me when I see Trump talk. I get instantly nauseous. I have lung dog syndrome.
Me too. And they didn't have to straitjacket me or anything. He did it all by himself.
Well, see, the straitjacket was so that if you, I don't know if you've seen the movie, so he couldn't move or escape. And then it's interesting because they use these little clips to keep his eyelids open too. And then there's a guy putting eye drops in his eye so his eyes don't become scratchy and they stay watered. So it's really bizarre, but there's no way he can look away from the violence he's seeing. So, I mean, it's a brilliant movie. So. But yes, Hope, think of Trump like a fine wine. He's an acquired taste, or like caviar.
I don't know. I live in New York. I love great wine. Chardonnay is my favorite. I like caviar, and I can't with Trump. I mean, have him do what he wants to do. I just don't want to hear him speak.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I'm from Massachusetts originally, so I get it.
But give me all the caviar and great red wine you want, because I'll take that and I'll enjoy it.
So, Akima, I remember you used to be a fan of RFK, and I see the picture in your PTR. I'm curious, what did you think about that?
That shit is hilarious. But he also came out with a statement the next day and said Trump has the most unhealthy food on his airplane. But so I don't think he actually ate that. But I would bet that he didn't eat it. But it just shows that how they all like lapdog to Trump. Like he would even pose with McDonald's and like Trump want everybody to follow him, and that's just bad though. Like why do you want me to appear to look like I eat McDonald's? That shit is just fucking weird.
Yeah, I thought it was it made me laugh quite a bit just because you could see the look on his face and it's pretty much tells you everything you need to know. He's like, really? This is what you guys are eating? Right, and it does look like he kind of just like I guess I'll take a picture of you guys with this food. But it was funny, even Don Jr. he posted he on the same night of that photo he posted Make America Healthy Again starts tomorrow. Pretty funny, but
At least the speaker of the House, he was smart enough to stand back there. He didn't have nothing in his hand. I think my RFK ought to did that too, but yeah.
The interesting thing about it is, and at the moment, I'm sort of unsure if this is like RFK's way of like sort of minimizing the resistance with Trump, but sort of his now I'm not sure if he believed this the whole time. I'd have to do more research, but sort of the stance is sort of because he mentions he doesn't eat fast food like that at all, really, right? But when he talks about McDonald's now, he sort of talks about like you cooking the French fries with tallow and things like that, almost in the way of making fast food healthier, which would be interesting. But yeah, the way his stance on McDonald's is kind of it's interesting in this nuance because with his current stances on food, you would think he'd be opposed to it and things like that in really dramatic ways. But it seems like no, he just wants the look. Still don't eat McDonald's, right? But if fast food could be healthier, I guess I could get behind that. Even though I hadn't had McDonald's in years at this point.
Yeah,
So I just thought it was interesting how he's making the combining what he believes about food and sort of joining the Trump cabinet as well.
That doesn't mean he's full of shit because you can't make McDonald's healthy. I don't care what you do to it.
Actually, well, what I think happened probably is Trump said, hey, come on, let's take this picture. And they all sit down and suddenly there's a thing of McDonald's there and they're all like, okay. And they don't want to create a scene. So they're kind of stuck. But I remember 30 years ago, this one particular high school did exactly what you said, MGK. They said, okay, since our kids are reading this stuff, let's at least make it better. So they had whole wheat buns. They cooked the fries in a different way with, different kind of oil, less fat, whatever, on and on and on, things like that. So they turned what appeared to be fast food into a better option. But the debate back then, which I think is still true, that, okay, you give these kids this food and it's healthy for them, but then they're still going to, they're going to turn around and go to McDonald's and still eat the same junk when they graduate high school. So it's not creating healthy diet choices that will lead them into their adulthood. There, I sounded like a dietitian. So, yeah, it's
and in a way, I think it's kind of it's really the only sensible approach because it's like you can't really go the route of all right, let's ban all fast food. So really, the only option is to have a stance where you're like, look, let's get the most unhealthiest chemicals. Let's absolutely get those out of the food, and maybe use ingredients that are, I wouldn't even say healthier. I would say less bad for you, and still at that point it's sort of what it is now, which is not that great to eat, but look, you've got a freedom to go eat it if you want to. But I think the least that we can do is sort of have a stance where it's anything that's I don't know what the metric would be of absolutely, the most unhealthiest chemical that's in McDonald's. I just assume it's all garbage. But I think that's just the most sensible approach.
It's gonna be fascinating to sit back and watch Republicans enact regulations on food. The Republican regulations on food. That's gonna be fucking fascinating to watch. Big government and food.
I don't see any problem with it at all, Nikita. None whatsoever. You mean you're saying the people who advocate for smaller government will vote in laws that somehow reflect a larger government? I just don't see it. No hypocrisy there. So, hey, non-issue.
And I would say for Republicans, the big issue isn't regulations, but it's unnecessary regulations that really don't have a net benefit.
Well, I think the funnier part of that, Kimo, will be that if they do, like with fast food directly or something like that, where they regulated, let's say they banned certain kind of cooking oils for French fries in fast food. The way the Democrats would twist themselves in knots, because it would actually be from a diet point of view or a health point of view, it would be a sensible regulation. So the Democrats are going to be like, exactly like you said, they're going to be like, oh my God, the Republicans say they're anti-big government, but and here they are doing the thing they say they don't want to do, yet the actual policy would be beneficial. So how they would play that, I don't know. That would be fun to see too.
The smart way to play it is just to be quiet, vote against it, and just shut the fuck up, and just see how far they go with it and use it against them in the future. I wouldn't go against it while it's happening, especially if I didn't have the votes to stop it. I'll just be quiet and let it happen.
Yeah, but when has a Democrat ever shut his mouth? But yeah, I mean that would be the best thing, So.
But that was as a Democrat. Or me personally, I would vote for it. I'm all for. I'm not a regulation person, but we talk about getting food healthier or American healthy. I'm 100% behind that. I think they should ban fast food. I say ban it. Ban alcohol, ban cigarettes. I say ban all of it. I mean, all the extra ingredients inside of food, all the fucking pesticides and Monsanto putting aside seeds. I mean, I'm talking about going that far. So banning vaccines. I'm RFK. I'm further left than RFK on that. So yeah.
Well, and yeah, I mean that's. I don't know if people remember the whole pink slime controversy with McDonald's or have seen, like, if you've seen what was it, Super Size It or Super Size Me, the movie. I mean, it's just by the end of the movie, the doctor saying, "Look, you gotta stop. You're killing yourself."
He actually just died. So he just had a cancer a few months ago.
Oh my gosh. Well, there you go. Yeah. Oh, jeez. How old was he? Do you know? Oh.
I think he was in his either late 40s or early 50s. I know his wife.
Oh my God, that's awful. What was it? Are they attributing it to that whole episode, or?
No, I mean, you don't know, because you don't know what brings about cancer, right? But he died of cancer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's too bad. Yeah. Yeah. Was his wife I think it was the girlfriend at the time in the movie, or a different person, or
I think it was a different person. I don't remember his girlfriend in the movie. They weren't married that long. So I think it was someone else. Yeah.
Yeah, just curious. Yeah, because it was, I think it was in the movie. The girlfriend said, "That's it. If you don't stop now, I'm going to break up with you." I mean, she blackmailed him, and rightly so.
Yeah, no, his wife said that he married. They just got separated when he died, though. Was worked for HBO documentary, so I think that's how they met when the documentary was picked up.
Oh, well, there you go.
But I definitely think what you put in your body does make a difference in obviously your health.
Do you think there'll be subsidies for organic agriculture coming out of the new administration? Or for teaching it? I mean, that's the root of a lot of this stuff.
I mean, I don't think Trump and his government want to spend more money, so I don't think so.
I think we want to shift money around, don't you think?
Like he talking about cutting $2 trillion a year, and he going through budget cutting all kind of what he determined as useless spending. So
you don't want any more spending in different areas? Just cut. I don't think that's true. You can cut a lot out of the bad stuff and put some into the good stuff.
Yeah, but
they got a handful with the $1 trillion a year with deportation. So I don't know.
Yeah, and look at what Trump likes to eat. Trump is not going to advocate and give money to anything that's going to take away from what he can eat. Trump hasn't had a healthy meal ever.
Yeah, he's got Kennedy there, though. Kennedy's going to be in charge of that stuff.
Yeah, but Kennedy has to listen to him.
What? No.
Yeah,
No.
Kennedy's
He said, did you hear him say, he said, Kennedy, you can do what you want, just leave the gas and oil alone.
But he says that now. Well, when you go and you take away his McDonald's and his fast food and his fried chicken, he's not going to like that.
It's not like he's promoting that. He's making fun of himself,
The problem is, I just looked it up. McDonald's spends $1.9 billion a year just in the U.S. for advertising. Second is Domino's at $774 million. Now, unless the government is willing, or any administration is willing to spend a sizable amount on health education, the next thing I would look up is to see what the Department of Health budget is. That's the problem. You've just got, how many people know about, I think it Supersize It. He talks about Ronald McDonald being recognizable, even to like 3-year-olds in foreign countries. That's how far their reach is. So that's really the obstacle that you're facing if you're trying to make the United States more healthy. Is you're just up against these giants in advertising dollars.
But they have McDonald's in all other countries, and I'm going to tell you that the quality of the food and the ingredients in the food in McDonald's in other countries is a lot healthier than it is in the States.
So they can do that here.
But they won't.
Why not?
Because
You're just so traumatized.
I'm not traumatized. I travel all over the world, Michaela, all the time. I don't eat fast food. I haven't had any fast food since 1989 because I don't like that shit. But I see what's there, and I see the quality control of the food there. And with RFK, he wants to do away with the quality control of food. So it's not going to get better. It's gonna get, yeah, he does.
Oh my God, you're interpreting this backwards. That's what I mean. You're traumatized by the right.
No, I'm talking about. I'm not talking about him not wanting to make food healthy. I'm just saying, like the EPA and all these different sections of the government, he doesn't want to have anything to do with it. So having, and you're not gonna, if he changes too much of McDonald's here, the market is gonna die, right? Because people aren't gonna go to McDonald's anymore.
I think people are admitting that the changes that these guys are promoting can cause a temporary readjusting downturn. I mean, we're going to have to suffer a bit to get out of the bad habits, not just food habits, but I think if there's going to be a big change, we've been doing things a certain way. If we do them a different way, the economic system is been dependent on the old way. So
I mean, look at the old way. Look at in the past, like the cheapest things you could get was going to McDonald's. So people who didn't have money would go to McDonald's to buy their meals from there.
now it's too expensive.
Exactly. Now it's gotten more expensive.
Now they got to cook at home.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, why are we focused? I wonder what percentage of the American diet is what percentage is fast food?
I mean, when you look at the obesity rate in this country, which is higher than any other country in the world, I think a big percentage is fast food. Because if you're actually eating at home, you're cooking at home, you're seeing what ingredients you're putting in your food, people would not be so overweight. I mean, people are seriously obese in this country.
Yeah, but they're saying that it's even the raw ingredients that we use that are causing metabolism problems. You know, the kind of flour we use, the kind of, that it's not GMO, but the corn is GMO, and the seed oils and all that. They're saying that those have an effect, and also the ingredients. When you're cooking at home, you're still using, and you can go buy that frozen food stuff in the grocery store. That's cheaper than McDonald's.
Yeah, but the frozen food stuff isn't healthy for you. It has so many chemicals and so much in it to keep the shelf life. But like, I cook at home. I don't go to fast food. I very rarely get takeout because I like to know exactly what's going on in my body.
Me too. But
36.6% of the American diet is fast food.
Okay, wow. Okay, so that's where, if they're gonna make some changes, maybe, don't they say the In-N-Out burgers, are they healthier? What, I don't know,
Yeah, I mean, that's their claim, but, I've heard that In-N-Out isn't much better. I mean, their fries are better, you see them, they got potatoes and they're sitting there slicing them up.
Taco Bell and Chipotle are probably the best bets in my opinion, as far as health and low toxicity. And
well, Chipotle is owned by McDonald's, right? Chipotle is owned by McDonald's. Yeah.
That's why it tastes so good.
Chipotle is actually probably the lowest toxicity, most healthy, like quasi fast food you could get. And then Taco Bell's probably a close second, maybe Chick-fil-A.
Oh, Chick-fil-A was the better one. Okay, so do they have drive-thrus?
In-N-Out?
Chipotle?
Yeah, well, kind of. You have to kind of order ahead, and then you can like drive through and kind of pick it up. So it's not as quick as the other ones. For quick stuff, like Taco Bell's actually kind of underrated. They have a nutritionist in charge of their stuff now. Like they've actually taken a lot of good steps in the right direction.
I'm just thinking of ways that the government can incentivize these fast food places to, like you say, like in Europe, they probably have rules in Europe where they can't have food like we serve in McDonald's here. There's probably some regulations. I would think that...
They do. And my question is, like, why do we have all these fillers? Does it make it cheaper to produce? Like, why do we have, like, the food dyes? I don't get how... Does it make it cheaper? Like, I'm not understanding the math here.
Oh, the fillers? fillers? What are the fillers, what they put in the
Like
beef?
all of the, no, like all of the extra crap that they put in it, like the food
Oh,
dyes and all of these
additives.
many chemicals, like I don't get why would the companies do that to Americans? Like what's in it for them?
Maybe because maybe because it's more addictive that way, and
Yeah.
the more addictive it is, the more people buy from it.
And Big Pharma loves sick people. What are you talking about?
That's right. So that's exactly what Kennedy is talking about changing. That's exactly what he's talking about
But
changing.
he's got to go up against Big Pharma. That's why I'm predicting.
Yeah, he's gonna.
I'm predicting that he's gonna be fired within 6 months.
Well, hope not.
Like who? Who's gonna fire him?
Trump is gonna fire him within 6 months
Why would he fire him?
because he's gonna be trying to do stuff that this country, that the big money in this country don't want. That's why.
I mean, that's the whole point. That's literally the point of firing him. So he'd be fired for doing his job.
Yeah, because he's gonna have to go up against the Big Pharma lobby and others. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's so much money into sick people, and he's trying to make America healthy. And these companies don't want that. And they have a lot of sway with all the politicians.
So do you think Trump didn't know that when he appointed him? Or nominated him?
I think Trump just being a stand-up guy and returning a favor. But
No, I don't believe that.
Okay, and that's fair. I mean, it's fair for you to disagree. And
Well, it's sad for you to have such a negative outlook on
the
it.
beautiful thing about it, we will find out though. So we don't have to argue about our opinions, but we will find out in the not too distant future.
Trump has been concerned about this topic for years as well. It's not like RFK just popped up and this is the first time Trump has ever expressed any concerns about this. He has expressed it. He didn't know how deep it went. I think RFK has opened his eyes up to how massive the problem is, but this isn't like something that he's just like, ooh, this sounds cool, and like, I know the American people think it's cool, so let me just jump on this bandwagon. No, I think Trump actually cares about this topic.
Holly, if he actually cared about the topic, he himself would eat healthy, and he doesn't. So you can't care about something and not eat healthy.
I mean, technically you can.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you can actually. I mean, I care about food toxicity and feeding my kids as healthy as I can. That doesn't mean that when I'm out and about, I will stop and get McDonald's on occasion, like Sue.
Yeah, on occasion. On occasion. He eats it every day. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't eat salad. He doesn't eat healthy food. His diet is fast food.
Well, we're all walking contradictions. Like, seriously, it's just a silly thing. He's an older man. Don't expect him to change now. He loves McDonald's. Like, okay.
I'm a walking contradiction in one way. I eat completely clean. I run every day, but I smoke cigarettes. And I'll admit that I'm an oxymoron, but I tell myself as long as I can run and the smoking doesn't affect me, then it's fine. But I eat completely clean. No junk food, nothing goes into my system that's unhealthy besides the cigarettes.
We all do it. We all have our vice.
Yeah, but I admit it. I don't pretend that I don't. What I'm saying is,
He talked about his love of McDonald's all the time.
But no, my point is, I agree with Hakima. He gave, or he nominated RFK. RFK is not in yet, right? He has to get confirmed. He did it because he got a lot of votes because of RFK. So he's trying to save face right now, but RFK is not going to be around for long.
He called RFK the night he got shot, or the night after he got shot, and they talked.
Yeah, and that phone call is what made me know that he was gonna support Trump, and that's when I left. That's when I gave up my support for RFK after that phone call.
Yeah, I have a good friend that was working for RFK, and she left. She's just a dyed-in-the-wool lefty from her. You know, we're senior citizens, and she's been that way her whole life. You know, so I think that. I mean, what you were saying about you smoking cigarettes, I think McDonald's are Trump's cigarettes, you know. He doesn't smoke or drink or, you know.
Yeah, but I'm not like a huge smoker. Maybe I smoke 3 or 4 cigarettes a day, if that, and not even every day. Can go for like weeks and not smoke. I bet you if you took away his McDonald's for even 3 days, he would become like a woman on major PMS.
Well, you don't know that. Do you think they serve McDonald's at Mar-a-Lago? You think that
Yeah.
doesn't mean the food they make
Yes.
there? I've
seen them bringing McDonald's to Trump Tower.
Okay. Well,
I've seen that.
To me, it's sort of a humorous, and then Kennedy eating the McDonald's, it's like he's saying, okay, we're not going to be fascists. We're not going to outlaw McDonald's. All right. To me, that's what that's saying. Don't get real scared that we're going to cut off your McDonald's supply.
Well, I mean, I don't think you can outlaw food. We're not living in prohibition, but. Well,
I know, but a lot of women are so afraid about their birth control pills and stuff that, oh my, I think it's just a message that we're not, cranks. We're not crazy. We're not going to change everything all at once. That's how I see it. But I hope they change things quickly. And I hope it continues on after Trump. I hope he just gets things started, and then I hope it continues on. And I think there's a long bench of people that could follow him. Why isn't it silly for the Democrats to oppose him, or, having RFK in there trying to do stuff? I mean, why not work with him?
Well, I think it depends what he wants.
They're gonna oppose RFK, and the majority of the country gonna get behind him when he gets to talking about the vaccines and things like that. Because
Exactly.
He's going to talk about research on the long-term effects of them. That's what he says needs to change.
And that's what's gonna run it. That's what's gonna run him out of office right there.
Can't do the research, huh? Can't rely on science.
Well, they want to take away money out of NIH and research. So how would they do the research if the people that are being put into place?
I don't think they're going to cut everywhere. But
they're saying that. I mean, if you go look at the list of stuff that they said they wanted to cut, part of it is the NIH. The NIH does research.
Oh yeah, but they do a lot of worthless research.
I don't know. I have a lot of people who work in biophysics and NIH, and they don't do
okay. Not all the research. They can say, okay, we don't need to keep on doing research in this area. We can push it to this area. We can prioritize another area.
What do you think they're doing research on, which is waste of research?
I don't know, but not everything that gets a grant is. I mean, they can prioritize. Yeah, it might not be wasted, but it might not be the top priority.
But it's not a top priority until something is a top priority. If there are diseases out there that you're doing research on, you need to continue doing research on it, because even if it saves 10,000 people, it's saving those people, right?
So they are funding all the research that any scientist wants to do. They're already prioritizing.
Well, yeah, so if they cut that, then they're not, right? Like, I think they were talking about cutting AIDS research. Why the hell would you cut AIDS research, right? Granted, it's not as bad as it was in the 80s. People are surviving. But why are they surviving? Because of research.
Well, they're surviving, so why do they, I mean, haven't they sort of solved the problem?
No, because it hasn't been cured. They found. I'm sorry, I'm walking because I'm going to a screening, so I might have noise here. But I mean, they haven't cured the disease yet. So until you can cure the disease, you're still going to continue doing research. You allow people to live longer lives because of the research you've done, but people are still dying of AIDS.
Well, I think that I think that you have too many friends at NIH.
No, I have friends all over. I work in the film industry. My brother is a nuclear physicist. I have friends who are biophysicists who work at NIH. So I have a good, bubble, huge, wide range of people. I don't live in a bubble.
Okay.
And I read and I talk and I do all this stuff. So I'm talking because I know, not because I'm just
Okay, so
repeating.
you don't think that we could have some new priority about the health of Americans related to diet and food production and all that? That if we had that, that we can't, that we couldn't cut other things that aren't that top priority? If we have a limited amount of money?
I think diseases are top priority. I think diet really has to happen within the home. Like you learn diet from your parents. Your parents eat unhealthy
Yeah.
their entire lives. You're gonna learn that, right?
Yeah, but it's not just what you eat, it's what what's provided to you to eat, how it's produced. It's the food, the agriculture system, the food production system and all that. And I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, a lot of these diseases, it's known that a lot of it is related to the immune system being unhealthy because of lifestyle and food factors, etc. So if those are focused on, maybe they don't need to put so much research into these diseases that result from them.
Yeah, but you don't know what resorts from what, right? My mom always ate healthy. She wasn't a real drinker. She had wine here and there. She didn't smoke. She died of pancreatic cancer. It'll be 5 years tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just what you're putting into your body. It's
That's
your
right.
environment, right?
Yeah.
It's the pesticides that are in the environment. Like I live in New York City. I think a lot. I developed some health issues in New York City after 9/11. I lived very close to the World Trade Center, so for like weeks and months after the fact, I could smell the burning rubber and burning flesh
Oh God.
in the air.
Yeah.
So like all this stuff in our environment also causes these health issues that we have. So
Right.
it's not just food. So we need to make sure that people are researching for these
Right.
diseases.
I agree with that. But I think that there's I think the shift to the environmental causes and the diet and lifestyle causes, I think that's the way we should shift the money in research. Instead of trying to, cure certain diseases. I mean, not instead of, but just shift it more in that direction. Some people are not going to get grants, but maybe the ultimate result is more beneficial.
But what is the money we would put in research for diet when we should know diet? There's no research, no money needed for that research. We should know that you're eating shit food every single day. You're not going to be healthy. You're going to have high cholesterol.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, but for instance, they're trying to focus on seed oils. Everybody's using all different kinds of oils, and they're saying seed oils might be a huge thing. Now, have they done the research on that? Do they have it already?
Well, they keep on changing that because for a long time they were saying it was better to cook with grapeseed oil than anything else. Then they were also, with wine, they were saying red wine is bad for you. Then they did a study that said, actually, red wine is really good for your heart. So all these studies keep on contradicting each.
So maybe they need to put some more research in that area and come to the conclusion, but it's
If I could jump in and then I have
Yeah.
to go. I was interested and researched, all of this stuff. Let me think, put the age, 30 years ago. And the American take on health, has always been a kind of, what's the one miracle cure that will make people happy? So like what you just said, first they said it was red wine, and first it was bad, then it was good, and then the seed oils, where they think that'll help, and all of it. And the real trick is it's not just one thing that makes a person healthy and that will make a diet healthy. And it's a more comprehensive approach to health. But in terms, I heard what you were saying, how do you say your name, Michaela?
right.
That we have limited dollars. And I think given the obesity rate in this country, we would solve a lot of health issues if America was thinner, period. that, things like type 2 diabetes, blood pressure, hypertension, heart disease, all of those things really are mitigated when a person is thinner. That's it. I mean, I know for myself, they're always tracking various things, and if my weight goes up, I start seeing, like, I forget if it's A1C or AC1, whatever it is, that starts to creep up too. And they're saying, so, it's weight. And given the limited dollars, I would agree. I would agree with you on that regard. We've only got so many dollars here to spread around.
How many people do?
How many people?
Like 15 minutes. What percentage of people in the U.S. actually exercise every single day, or at least 5 days a week? That would make a big, huge difference in people's health, right?
Absolutely. Anyways, I gotta go. I just, I have to go now. Anyways, nice.
The HIV part of the conversation is pretty interesting because I believe in 2019 when Trump gave his State of the Union, he said something about ending the HIV epidemic in the United States. Specifically, he said he wanted to aim to reduce new HIV infections by 75% in 5 years and 90% in 10 years. Now, what did end up happening, and they even funded some AIDS and HIV research during that time, but a part where they sort of wanted to cut back on was global AIDS and HIV research, which probably means something like, look, we're going to prioritize AIDS and HIV research here at home, but all the other countries that are depending on us to figure that out problem for them, maybe they'll be a little bit on their own, right? So he wanted to have cuts to that. But domestically, he definitely wanted to, I believe right here it's showing that he proposed a $291 million spending budget specifically for efforts to reduce new infections through improved testing, prevention, and referral to medical care, and things like that. So during his first administration, he sort of did the opposite of throwing HIV and AIDS research under the rug in our country.
I think that's changed now. And when you're talking about global, like a lot of times when you're doing research for a particular medication or something and for a particular disease, you want to do that globally, right? You want to see how this medication affects people all over the world because people's experience in different parts of the world is different. So in order to find a cure, you want to be able to cure everyone and not just one person. Because you cure the Americans, right, who have AIDS, but then someone from another country comes here and has AIDS and it all starts again. So there isn't going to be a vaccine for AIDS, I don't think.
so you can giggle. At the game, there was this lady when my kids went to Jewish, school, and my son was in basketball. And there was this lady who would literally recite Tehillim for the result of the basketball game. Who, by the way, was not a super religious person either, just super competitive.
I'll if we're down, I'll consider living up to Tehillim.
God literally has better things to do.
Yeah, I agree.
Something else.
Well, it's yeah.
What happens if God exists but he doesn't believe in us?
That he doesn't believe we exist or believe in our goodness?
Correct.
I mean, that's a pretty old standard version of the God created the earth and then just disappeared.
I know, but what do we call it? Like a person who doesn't believe in God is an atheist. What is a God that doesn't believe in humankind?
I think the Greeks had a name for it.
Probably.
God created.
Daniel wants to know what if
paid $350,000. Let me tell you something. To get your motherfucking PhD, I think your ass need to be making at least $500,000.
That's a fact.
These motherfuckers have gone to school, have been broke until they were in their fucking 30s, so they can fucking educate your fucking kid. Not only are they educating your
Yeah, you did. We could totally troll some atheists with that question. Like if we actually thought it through and had a whole we could totally take atheists down a rabbit hole. It might be fun.
Or at least agnostics. You make them agnostic about themselves.
Yeah, probably more agnostics.
Free Palestine, from the river to the sea. Free Palestine.
Oh, that's great.
Will be stopped.
Free parking!
Where is
Free
Palestine?
Hang on. Are we talking about Palestine in Texas?
No, we're talking Palestine.
It's actually
a really nice little town.
We're talking about Palestine.
It's Palestine.
Philistine. Free Philistine from the Zionist colonial project of terrorists.
Philistine literally means colonial.
Free the hostages.
Yeah,
there you go.
Free. Everything's free. Or at least
free all the Philistine hostages. Free all the Philistine hostages. And we're going to pray for the Israeli hostages because Bibi wants to kill them all. We're going to pray for them. We need them to be out. They were innocent, but Bibi's trying to kill them.
Hey, you don't know how to pray.
Allowed to talk for this long, are you?
Yeah, you don't know how to pray.
We have to stop
Netanyahu.
We have to stop Netanyahu from killing the Israeli hostages. He might be trading them off with the rabbis.
Okay, your pedophile prophet didn't teach you properly to pray, so don't bother to pray for.
I don't know.
Just keep praying for the terrorists, and Allah will keep giving the Jews victory because He prefers us.
I don't understand, Jeff. I mean, we're just here having a nice, relaxing social thing, and we get this free Palestine. It just reminds me of going into the streets around the world, with all these rallies, free Palestine. Look, in case you didn't get the memo, Israel is freeing Palestine from Hamas, the cancer. We're doing it, and everybody is thanking us, which is amazing. They're saying, thank you so much for removing the Islamist garbage from the face of the earth. So we're doing it. You just got to read your memos. That's all.
Billy, can you answer the question? What if God doesn't believe in us?
A humanist.
A humanist? Okay, so God does not believe it. So so an ahuman. What if God doesn't exist and doesn't believe in us? What do you call that?
Then you're just a
What if God doesn't exist, but he does believe in us?
Now I'm confused.
Exactly. Welcome back, Ash.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Ash, PTR, there's baby, right? Like today.
Aww.
Feeling in her
How's
hospital
she feeling
bed.
now? Oh my gosh.
She's feeling okay. She's watched The Grinch like 4 times today.
Oh, she's so cute.
She's mesmerized
So
by The
cute.
Grinch. I think that's hysterical.
I hope she feels better soon. It's a great movie. It's a great movie.
My kids were afraid of The Grinch.
She's got good taste. Oh, she's so cute.
I said, even sick, she's cute.
Just so adorable. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Excuse me,
This
guys.
makes me want to spit. Yeah, what's up, Salman?
Can you check the message, please?
Oh, yeah. I meant to respond to you.
Thank you.
So, Jeff, according to AI, what you're describing is an extreme version of deism called indifferentism.
Nice, that's a thing, huh?
According to Perplexity, yes.
Awesome. I'm glad to know I made you curious enough to AI it, Rafa.
Oh, yeah. I was hanging out this weekend with our favorite Las Vegas resident in Vegas.
Which one? I have several that I like out there. Patty?
Yeah.
Football in the snap.
That's cool. Was she on LA?
No, I was in Vegas.
Sweet. Solomon, I responded to. Just a clown like some of us.
Oh, look, this is a very special occasion. Soren is putting some family photos in the chat. I think that's beautiful. I think he got the idea from Elle. So it's Soren. They're gorgeous. They're really gorgeous. Do you have names for them?
Just a stranger on the bus. It is interesting. Like, we just want to sit here and talk to our friends about nothing much in particular. I guess my title is a little provocative.
Soren doesn't have any friends. I think he thinks that we're his only friends.
I bet you Soren does think we're his friends.
Just like Mike
Soren,
thinks we're
please,
friends.
I need to correct Soren again. Soren, I'm not a Zionist. I am a very proud Zionist. Like most people who are Zionists, they should be proud of being Zionist. Please don't refer to me as just a Zionist. Thanks.
Is Soren like the Afghani Bronstein?
No, Soren's more socially aware than Bronson is.
I mean, it's the cockroach is more socially aware.
But he might be the Afghani David B.
How's his drinking game?
I don't know.
I mean, sound drunk.
Not really.
Permanent drunk Kermit.
Not really.
How
Just
did
a
you
stranger on the bus. Apparently, that last attack in Iran, like they really actually did a lot of like material damage.
Shut down their nuclear program for probably years.
Yeah. Apparently, the nuke program is going to be a few years behind, delayed, which is tremendous. The hypersonic missiles have a few-year delay, which is tremendous. And nearly all of the anti-aircraft batteries were destroyed. So Iran's just laying naked like a whore passed out on the grass.
And their early warning systems too.
Just in time for Trump to come in and impose sanctions and drive the regime out of business.
And the Ayatollahs died of cancer or AIDS or whatever Arab they died.
Yeah, but Matt, one guy in Soren would pretty much do that, you know.
Hey, Shara, how many Toman does it take to turn on a light bulb?
What?
To turn on a light bulb?
I don't know though.
It doesn't matter because there's no electricity anyway.
Is that the truth? Yeah, I don't know how much the money is worth though right now and how much the prices are.
It's worth less. Definitely
last
less.
Time I visited Iran, I think it was, it was 2014. I haven't been there in 10 years.
Just a stranger on the bus. Hey, Ash.
Sorry, guys.
Don't let it happen again, Ash.
What's Soren doing here?
Nothing. He's flirting with Rowan mostly.
He's trying to upgrade the class of people he hangs around with.
It is hard, Soren. Rowan's a very good Soren. It's also very attractive that he's a Jew with great hair. How can you not?
Oh, he's confused. Karen's not here. That's Hillary.
Karen, I don't know why Soren is still here.
I don't know. I think he's.
You're a moderator.
I've been sort of
Alright.
I'm fine with everybody making independent decisions.
Ash, I thought you were new friends.
He's usually not in here because, I'll be honest, I'm the one that has him blocked. I don't feel safe with him in the room. Just like Cheeseburger in Paradise or whatever his name is for today.
Yes.
So I don't allow him in here. There are actually only 3 people that I have blocked, and they are all people that either record or are literally too crazy for Clubhouse.
I mean, how crazy is he? You just muted yourself while you were speaking.
Too crazy for Clubhouse. What, like, Too Crazy for Clubhouse, like, has blown up at least 3 buildings.
I'm with Ashley. I don't trust him though.
Don't trust him. No one trusts him.
But I don't trust him more than just a troll. I just don't trust this guy. I don't like him at all. Like, I don't feel safe around him. I really don't.
Who's he talking about? Sorry?
Are we talking about Soren?
Yeah.
Soren, yeah.
I'm the one who has.
Well, he has. He is, been doxing people, like for real.
Yeah, well, he
Hey, what?
to Rohan, so that's why
Hey, Majid, I would love for you to. Tell us what's.
$1,000. You are pretty much going to school for free. Could you imagine, like, if you're making $150, you only got one child. I have one baby that's actually, I have two daughters, but I have one that came out my womb. And I could tell you that one that came out my womb, for me, they're not going to give me that 10%. If you make $150 with one child, you only pay 10% of the tuition. So if you look at a school like I'm going to give you Harvard, you're only paying $5,000 a year. $5,000 a year. $5,000 a year ain't shit, especially when you got FAFSA. You don't even have to apply for fucking Stratford loans or fucking subsidized loans. You don't have to apply for that shit. Your FAFSA should be enough. Your grant should be enough if you're making under $150,000. So you guys are not taking into consideration. Y'all are not taking into consideration that these schools have other programs outside of this.
Patty, thank you for putting me on the stage. Hold on, I posted a link in the room chat. You brought me up to the stage, Patty. Why don't you let me speak? I put a link in the room.
Oh, is this the link?
Okay, we don't need to be aggressive.
This Mr.
You don't want me to speak on me. You want to kick me out that.
Every day.
Why do you want to be kicked out?
You just want that to be right, but I don't want to even know it. If you had knowledge that I can benefit from, I don't want to know it because that energy.
Is that true? I don't really like it. What's up?
Real quick.
Articulate, y'all when him sound alike. That's why you got to
Compared to 2028, I'm getting my reparations.
Is that hard?
We can have a conversation without making the weird little ad-libs, guys. Like, seriously. Come on.
There are models of what Patty is talking about. There are states that have made community college and state college free by taxing the rich more. I live in one of them.
It's not
There are models that are already there.
It's private schools as well.
No private schools.
Cornell does it. Harvard does it. Stanford does it. A lot of these colleges, these private schools
Patty,
are doing it.
those colleges have endowments.
But why are we talking about colleges that have less than 1%
The only thing that really matters is
of all
money.
college students? Why do we always focus on the 1%?
We're not focusing only on the 1%. We're talking about overall colleges, period. A lot of these schools have adopted. A lot of these. No. I brought that up because he talked about only the public universities. I said not only the public universities are doing it. This is a model that has been adopted by a lot of fucking universities. If you make under $150,000, they're requiring you to pay 10% of what you're paying for tuition. I have two girls that are in college, also an African girl that's been living with me since she was in fucking high school that is going to Howard University. These kids are fucking, that little girl, the little girl that's adopted, the little adopted African girl, she's going to school using the 10%. My daughter doesn't require, she cannot do the 10% because I'm her mother.
Do you think the current are sufficient for most students to have easy access to post high school education? Because I don't. Like even with the 85, like I grew up in Fairfield County. My parents in a lot of other regions would be considered wealthy enough to send their kid to college, but in the area I grew up in, the 85 ain't shit. And so it's still true that like kids that grow up in predominantly black neighborhoods have to grapple with going to college and incurring debt that they are scared to pay off, or don't go to college and end up falling for whatever YouTube conspiracies exist. I do believe that much of what we see in these clubhouse conversations are largely attributed to the cost of education, and many of the people who have told themselves things like start an LLC, college is a waste of time.
You're just derailing a good conversation. Jesus.
How am I derailing it, or are you just bullying me again? I was chill.
Oh my God.
I didn't say anything weird. I was not derailing. We were talking about college education.
Hurry up. So why are you talking about people on Clubhouse?
I mean, I know you guys just want to beef with me, but I was just participating in a conversation about college.
I gotta agree with him, y'all.
Bloodlust, right? Right, Jess?
I agree